Sorry, I do want the 5-minute warning, please.
You're on. Okay.
Benny, hi, pleasure seeing you again.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate you coming out here.
Yes.
In this beautiful rain that we have here. Just real quick, I put something together for you, kind of what we initially talked about regards to leasing.
Okay.
So a couple things I do want to point out. You notice, our lease facility's right here. Right next door is our Kenworth dealership, where it houses over $7 million in parts. You think, how is that significant to you? Well, whenever there's an issue with the truck, whether it be warranty or anything else that's happened, we can initially go right to our dealership, grab the part, put it on your truck, get you turned around, and get you out of the shop as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's great to know.
Yeah, keep downtime to a minimum. Also next door, what we have is our breakdown line.
Okay.
So our breakdown line is 24/7 that we spoke about a little bit more during our meeting earlier. But they're 24/7, so they're able to handle any issues that you guys may come across with the truck from A to Z. So I know your guys' normal working hours are from 5 to 6 at night. So that 5 o'clock phone call from the driver to you saying something's wrong with my truck, what do I need to do? And now we handle that for you. We also have the ability to customize those steps specifically to your business of how you handle breakdowns.
Okay.
And keep that in-house. So we'll get that taken care of for you as well. Now I know that your drivers have already driven the truck. We gave him that demo for a week. The driver said that he loved it. He loved the way it rode. He loved the way it handled. So I mean, with that being said, is there any reason why we can't get this deal done right now?
Well, show me your product. Tell me what you think of it. Show me some selling points on it. I'm all about driver retention. Yes, like internationals and Freightliners do break down a lot, and they have lots of issues. So tell me why this truck is better than my Freightliners or internationals.
Sure, absolutely. Driver retention is a huge thing that companies deal with right now. Drivers have the pick of the litter, right? They can go from company to company. It's hard to retain drivers. With your Kenworth, I don't think you'll have any issue at all. Kenworth is a premium brand, premium product, and I'll walk around the truck and I'll point out the reasons why. So if you just come over here with me, we'll just start up in front of the truck.
Okay.
First off, the first thing you notice is our Kenworth emblem, the iconic emblem of Kenworth. Okay. It's been around longer than you and I both. Right? It's the first thing people notice, and the first thing that they think when Kenworth is premium product. So, to me and to you, it's going to be a huge thing when they look at the Kenworth. Not only for your drivers, but also for your current customers and any prospective customers that you have. Okay? So, if you look around, you'll notice that we have our stainless steel grille. Now, the one big difference between that and what you're driving now as far as your internationals and Freightliners is that they're plastic, right? And they also have that 1 to 2 inch gap in there. You notice that our stainless steel is really close holes in there, which means it's going to keep out the larger rocks, debris, any birds flying through that your driver may hit, and protect those engine components from any damage. If you take your hand, kind of push on there, you notice that it has a give to it. So should something hit it, it's not necessarily going to instantly crack it because it's solid staying there. It's going to have some give to it, kind of bounce off and kick it off. Okay.
Good to know because I get a lot of radiator damage from debris coming through.
Debris going in there? Yeah. Another thing that you'll see is that our hood, it's actually a 4-piece bonded SMC material. Okay. What that does is it's more durable and it's lighter. Okay. And one great thing about having the 4-piece hood as opposed to your single-piece hoods on your internationals and Freightliners is if for any reason there is a strike here, we're not replacing the entire hood. We're taking this part off, we're putting a new part back on, keeping costs down low to a minimum. Okay. If you look down here, one of a huge safety feature that Kenworth actually has that a lot of people don't recognize or know about is the fact that our bumper actually sticks out about 3 inches from the front of our hood. Now, why? Well, the reason is safety. If you have that front impact, instead of it coming in and smashing everything all together along with your radiator, this right here, your bumper's going to take the brunt of the force and take a lot of that impact away and help keep any damage that may happen here to a minimum. Okay. If we come around here, the next thing I want to show you is your headlights. Now, what we have is we have halogen bulbs in our headlights. You do have the ability to go with the xenon headlights as well if that's something you'd like. But our forward-facing lights actually provide up to 30% better visibility down the road for your drivers. Big safety, right? Me as a driver, I want to work somewhere I feel safe. If their office is safe, which essentially this is their office, if they feel safe in their office, more likely that they are to stay on and keep going down the road with you. So another big difference between our competition and us is with our halogen lights, they usually use LED lights. The main difference there is our halogen lights actually heat up. And what that does is you can experience this great weather here in the Midwest right now. It's rain, snow, sleet, hail. What the halogen does is it heats up and it actually helps melt that snow and ice off of the light. It's not going to get it completely off, but the likelihood of your driver stopping every 20 minutes during our amazing snowstorms here in Missouri is kept to a minimum. They're able to get to their destination on time in a timely manner.
Okay, great.
So, if we move over here, the next thing I want to show you is our mirrors. You can see their chrome cap. You do have the ability, should you want to have these as the color of the cab. So if you wanted the white cab or even a red cab, these can actually match the color of the cab as well. Okay. So one huge safety feature that Kenworth has added to their trucks is with this mirror, you can notice that it's actually mounted to the cab as opposed to the door. Okay. So what that does is, you mentioned to me that you had an issue with one of your drivers getting out and it causing a hit and run. Or not them causing a hit and run, but they got out, hit and run. It cost you a lot of money, a lot of time, and in turn, that driver was actually let go. You had to hire somebody new, you have to train somebody new, you have to get them on your insurance. It all cost you time and money. So, as I open this door, you'll notice that the mirror actually stays in place, as opposed to the Freightliners and Internationals, where the mirror goes with the door. So as your driver's stepping out in their three-point stance, they can now see in that mirror, and they're able to see behind them, as opposed to the mirror moving along with the door. Yeah. Okay. Another thing I want to point out with the mirror is that they're breakaway. So they break away forward, then they break away, and they break away backwards as well. Okay, should the driver ever hit that on anything. They're thermostatic. They're also electronic, so the driver also doesn't have to roll down the window and mess with adjusting the mirror as they're driving down the road. They can do it inside.
Right.
Okay. With our door, a couple of things I want to point out is the piano hinge. This thing is as durable as they come. On your Freightliners, they're not doing that. They're mounting 3 separate hinges on the door, which eventually come loose. They start to rattle. Something you don't want to deal with. Your drivers definitely don't want to deal with that as well. These doors will come back as strong as they left us. Okay. As I open this up, you notice that we actually have the seal on our doors, as opposed to our competition, the Internationals and Freightliners, where they have the seals along the inside. So what that does is, one, as this seals up against the door, it's going to keep any debris, dust out. And two, with the drivers getting in and out of their workspace, their boots are hitting that. It's cutting them, it's fraying them, it's pulling them off, allowing that dust and dirt in there, and then we're replacing seals. Okay, so another thing I want to point out is underneath here. We have our three batteries in here. Now we can get it in 2 or 3 Kenworth. We like to put 3 in ours at MHC because what that does, it actually provides a better residual value for your truck and essentially a better price for you, leasing wise. All right. It also easy access for your drivers to go in there should there be a dead battery, should somebody have left the lights on, they're able to get in there and they're able to easily jump it or call us and we can get it taken care of as well. You'll notice that the air tanks themselves are underneath the batteries as well. There's 3 of them. Now, one main difference between what we do and what our competitions do is under here you'll usually see 1 to 2, and then the remaining air tanks are mounted to the frame. Now, you had mentioned to me that you guys had looked to expand into other avenues of the transportation industry, and that you may even need a PTO. So, what this does is we have that clear frame space behind the def tank that you're able to easily access or easily add a PTO to it, whereas the competition, the Internationals, the Freightliners, they have those mounted to the frame. It causes us more money to remove them and adjust them. We found it better to have them mounted and standard underneath the batteries.
Okay.
One thing I didn't do that I'd like to show you. I'm going to open this hood up real quick.
Okay.
And if you look when I open the hood, it's actually at a 90-degree angle. Well, what does that do? It allows easy access for not only our techs, but your drivers as well as they're doing their pre and post trip inspections. You'll notice that all the fluids are actually on this side, on the driver's side of the engine compartment. Again, allowing them quick and easy access to either refill washer fluid or get in there and do their post-trip and pre-trip inspections, make sure everything's done. If you look up on the firewall, you'll notice that we have all of our cables up on the firewall as opposed to our competition who mounts them down onto the frame.
Okay.
Now what this does is it keeps those safe. It keeps all the gunk, the dirt, everything that's flying up from the road from getting matted on those and damaging them, or your driver's not able to see them as he's doing his pre-trip and post-trip inspection to make sure everything's plugged in and good to go. Okay. You'll also notice that they're color-coded as opposed to internationals and Freightliners. The reason being is because our techs are able to get into the truck, diagnose it, and know that I have X going on with it. That's the green wire. I can get up there, easily replace that, as opposed to our competition who's going in there trying to play around, see which wire is which and what's going to happen. Okay. So close this. Now you mentioned to me that you wanted a 26,000 pound GVW.
Yes.
So what we have here this is our rental spec. So this is a 26,000 pound truck. You have the 10,000 pound front axle. You have the 16,000 pound rear axle. We do have the ability to go up to 33,000 should you feel the need to do that. But you expressed to me that right now you just want to stay with the 26,000 pound. Another thing is the trucks that we spec for you. We have the aluminum wheels. You can see these are the steel, but we wanted to save you a little bit of weight. And then we also know that obviously the aluminum wheels look a little bit better. And this truck in particular is your billboard as you're driving down the road. You want to look good, feel good. So that's why we spec'd it with the aluminum wheels. Okay. While we're out here, one thing I didn't mention was the fact that with our dealership next door to us, if there's ever any issues that we have with our trucks that for instance, we can't get taken care of, or it's something that we need to get you in quick, we can always take you next door and get you taken care of there as well.
Okay, great.
So you come around here, here's our polished aluminum fuel tank. This one's actually a 100-gallon tank. Now you mentioned that you may have routes coming in the future where you're going to run from here to Hays, Kansas, and you really don't want your guys fueling that often. So I want to tell you that we do have the ability, and Kenworth is the only one that has the ability on their medium-duty trucks to add a 120-gallon fuel tank. Everyone else caps out at 100. So
okay.
should you want to do that, we can get you taken care of.
Okay.
Okay. You want to hop up in there? We'll take a look at the cab. So as we're up here in the cab, one thing you notice, it is a one-piece windshield. You also see the visibility. You'll notice that the slope of the Kenworth provides that extra visibility for your drivers. In here, some of the things that differentiate us between the International and the Freightliners is one, we don't have the digital gauges. We have the standard gauges in here. It's more of a truck feel, and a lot of drivers have expressed to Kenworth that they trust the standard gauge as opposed to the digital. I know me on my Camry, I have a digital gauge, and you never quite know when you're close to hitting it, right? So Another thing you'll notice is that it actually angles out. Ease the access for the drivers.
5 minutes.
Touch anything in here. Another thing that you'll notice is that we have toggle switches as opposed to the push button. Now, why is this significant? Well, as a driver is taking a drink down the road, they have to hit their brakes. Drink spill, we understand it happens. These toggle switches are very durable, very reliable, as opposed to the push buttons, where if you get any kind of sticky substance in there, you're replacing the button. Okay. So, you know, I know you mentioned that you know, driver retention is something that is very important to you. You know, the Kenworth being the premium product on the market is something that's looked at by drivers as, I'm going to go work for this guy because he has great equipment to drive, right? It's reliable. You know, with our trucks, you'll also receive access to our Blue Tree, which is our telematics system, which allows you to get in and take a look at the GPS location. It also allows you to train your drivers, to teach your drivers, because you have access to take a look at any harsh braking, any overreading. So it gives you complete access to take a look at what's going on with the truck and how you're driving. So now, I know you're here in the Midwest. You have a couple locations here in Kansas City and in Olathe. So MHC itself is primed to partner with you on your endeavor, on your business. You know, we take pride in growing the customers. I know myself, I look forward to working with you and partnering. And you know, with all that being said, we're taking a look at the driver retention that you mentioned earlier. I want to ask you, you know, our build slots right now are about 4 months out. And you know, are you ready to get stuff done?
I am. Our lease is up in 6 months, so I'd kind of like to be ready to roll in 6 months.
Perfect. Well, let me tell you this, that we can get something done now. We can have paperwork signed. I can hold on to that paperwork, and what we can do is I can submit it at the right time to where once those trucks expire on your side, you have brand new Kenworths coming in.
I can't have any gap. I have to go right into the other.
Absolutely. That's not a problem at all. We can make that happen. And if there is ever any gap there, let's say they're a week out, we can get you into some rental units at your interim rate, which is just going to be your release rate, and you'll have new trucks to follow.
Good to know.
What do you say?
Let's do it.
Fantastic. Right here. That one.
There we go.
Perfect. Hey, I appreciate it, Benny.
Thank you,
What do you
sir.
say we grab lunch?
Let's do it.
All right.